Guys, welcome to another Raw review presented by WrestlingRumors.net. Please make sure you subscribe to our channel, like all our videos, share our videos, and make sure you're visiting WrestlingRumors.net. Happy Memorial Day to everybody out there, too. Happy holidays. I hope you enjoyed your Memorial Day as we did. Sam, Raw came from the Nassau Coliseum for the very last time tonight in Long Island.
Yes, that's pretty sad to say. It's the last time they're going to be there.
Well, let's tie Memorial Day in with the United States Championship with Long Island. And so I think the big spot of the night was probably John Cena and Zack Ryder.
Yes.
And I guess the cast entourage put in there. And then, of course, after the match, you get Kevin Owens come out. Exciting match, engaged crowd. Kevin Owens with another big power bomb. What do you think?
I was definitely impressed. I think we all sort of guessed that Zack Ryder was going to come out and answer the call to the Open Challenge.
I think we were hoping. I think that's the thing. We were hoping.
We were hoping. I was kind of actually hoping that Owens would come out and just destroy the entire cast of Entourage. I just wanted him to just hit all of them with a bunch of different moves.
Kind of. I did. At least one of them.
Mm-hmm. But I like that they actually brought him out again to continue this whole storyline with him going into Elimination Chamber. What did you think?
No, I loved it. I mean, I think it absolutely was. I think the spot of the night. But it's week after week we say this about the John Cena, United States Championship Open, or whatever we're calling it. Every week we're saying the same thing about it, and I think that just shows what John Cena really does mean. Because again, and we saw even little heel things out of him. He's facing a lot of faces. Yes, I know he's going against Kevin Owens at the pay-per-view at Elimination Chamber, but he is facing a lot of baby faces.
Everyone that's been answering the Open Challenge has been baby face.
For the most part, So I think it's been really fun to watch that play out, and I think the Long Island crowd, it was great to see. It was great to see Zack Ryder, which I hope this isn't like kind of his farewell moment. But we'll see. What do you mean?
I think it's pretty interesting that everyone who knows me knows that the Elimination Chamber was always my favorite pay-per-view, simply because I love the Elimination Chamber match. And I'm more excited for the Owens-Cena match than I am the actual Elimination Chamber matches. That's what's so incredible to me, is they've actually got me more interested in a non-chamber match than the actual chamber matches.
Right.
It's amazing for me, who is a huge fan of those chamber matches.
And the interesting thing is, it's not even that it's a title match. I mean, yes, both guys are champions, but it's not title. It's just champion versus champion. There's no title on the line, nothing like that. So it's not even like there's a.
So the U.S. title's not on the line.
I don't believe so. No, okay. I think it's just champion versus champion. So. All right, now next let's get to another favorite of yours, the Lana Rusev saga that went continuously all night long. I loved, Rusev pulling the "if you only knew how many women threw themselves at me" card at her. I thought that was a classy touch. But what did you think about how it all unfolded with Lana and Rusev tonight?
Well, I thought it was interesting that they came out as the Bulgarian Brute again, with no affiliation to Russia. They changed up his trunks. He came out with the Bulgarian flag.
Which they've been doing at live events.
They switched everything out, and I don't know. I thought it was pretty interesting. They went with the whole Rusev being a sexist angle. I mean,
I don't know.
He was being very sexist. Okay.
No, I mean, he was just
telling Lana, "You belong to me. You are."
That
like,
was okay.
mine.
Yeah. It was a little.
He
did say, "I own you."
He did. I own you. So. I thought it was pretty interesting they went with this route, but I'm enjoying it. I thought it was hilarious.
Made for great TV. See, at the end of the day, it made for great TV.
It did.
And that's something, again, we still don't know what it is. Are they going to split? It looks like it, but could this all be a work?
I would lose my mind if it was a work. I would mark out.
What do you think right now, though? The split inevitable?
The split's inevitable, but I would love it if it was a work.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, so obviously we started the night off with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins on a little bit of mic work. Seemed to be a lot of improv going on. Seemed like they kind of went out there with a hot mic. I don't know. I really enjoyed the opening segment. I think there were a lot of holes in tonight's Raw. I don't think it was really a complete show. I think the segments that really hit, and this is one of them. What did you think?
I really enjoyed it. I love the human centipede reference made by Dean Ambrose. I love the fact that Seth Rollins pretty much what was it?
Owned the Justin Bieber gimmick?
Yes, he owned the Justin Bieber gimmick. I've never really understood why they've been calling him Justin Bieber, and the crowd likes to get behind it, and they just keep reusing it. I love it that Seth Rollins actually acknowledged it and was like, why? Because he's great at what he does. Millions of women love him, and men want to be him. Of course, fine, then I'll fucking own being Justin Bieber, and I loved it. So hopefully they won't bring up Justin Bieber anymore.
I will admit, as somebody that may or may not have watched The Human Centipede 3 twice in less than 24 hours this weekend, I definitely enjoyed Dean Ambrose dropping that line. But it felt like they were kind of going off the cuff a little bit. Obviously it continued throughout the night. Dean Ambrose with an attack backstage on J&J Security. All of a sudden he attacks a cameraman. We don't know why. Found out later in the show Seth Rollins is the one that pushed him into the cameraman, that instigated it. In the meantime, Dean Ambrose gets arrested, taken to jail. Of course, in the main event, comes back out. Roman Reigns saves the day, and then here comes Dean Ambrose via, I think, what was it, a police paddy wagon, I think, dressed up as a police officer, which was really funny, to be honest. And Dean Ambrose comes out, and, what do you think?
I just think it's more Dean Ambrose being very Joker-esque as always. I mean, he broke out of jail and stole a cop car and a cop's outfit and everything, just, crashes in.
Touché. It's a valid point.
Very valid point, and I loved it. I actually thought for a second that they were going to go with Roman Reigns signing the contract and stealing it away from Dean Ambrose. That way they were setting up a three-way, but not like that. Image in my head that just did not need to be there. Where were we
That's
going
your
with
image.
this?
That's your image, not mine. Go ahead.
I actually thought that's where they were going with this, and I'm actually glad they did it. I love the way it panned out with. It was cheesy, but it worked because it was Dean Ambrose.
Well, and what do you think? Because to me, a couple of us were talking about it. Seems like they were planting some seeds for a Rollins exile, so to speak. And whether it be via an authority face turn or a swap of talent, it seems like they're really starting to plant those seeds heavy. How soon do you think this gets pulled? I mean, would it be as early as Sunday?
No, I don't think it would be as early as Sunday. I would be thinking more along the lines of maybe around SummerSlam, maybe a few weeks leading up to SummerSlam, something like that. But I think they really want to drag this out for a bit.
There was some heavy teasing going on.
There was some heavy teasing, but it's one of those, it's a slow burn type of thing. Right. Let them organically turn on him.
Right. We'll see. Yeah. I think that's kind of been going on, though. We'll see, though. There was some very interesting. There was a lot of interesting dichotomy backstage tonight, I think, and that's one thing I really appreciated. And another thing I really did like about the Rollins segment, even though it's a little campy, but the extra footage, the camera footage of Rollins pushing the cameraman. It kind of felt like that old school when they used to try and play we have exclusive locker room footage.
I was going to say, like, the secret security footage that somehow's already up on YouTube.
I don't care if it was cheesy or not. I really dug it. It kind of had an old school feel to it of that gotcha moment that really loops everything back around again, So, all right, real quick before we get off New Day, I thought cut an amazing heel promo. Sam?
I completely agree. I just wish the crowd was more into the New Day. They seemed like they were very anti-New Day, which, I mean, they're supposed to be heels. They were very, like, New Day sucks, which is what they want right now. But
I'll say this: it was an interesting.
Seemed like a sort of dead crowd during their promo.
I think it was an interesting crowd because I thought they would be a little louder and a little more active, only because it's the last WWE event in the Nassau Coliseum, so I thought the place would be rabid. But at the same time, it was kind of a hit or miss show. So I think that when that happens, sometimes as goes the crowd, and as how they're going to react. So I'm not going to necessarily 100% put it on anybody or anything like that.
Okay.
So I don't know. All right, give us your spot of the night. What do you think?
My spot of the night was definitely the Cena speech.
Yeah.
Leading up to the Zack Ryder coming out with Entourage.
Okay.
He gave an excellent promo. That's all I'm saying.
I'm going Kevin Owens. I mean, that's a statement maker again. I mean, it's one of those where get to know him because I think he's on a fast track. I really do. Rate tonight's Raw.
I'll give it a B+.
B+? I'll go C+. I'll go C+.
You always have to go one letter grade down for me.
Well,
every single time.
I just think.
What's your issue?
Because I only really think there was about 3 segments that really, really grabbed me. Now, don't get me wrong. I think those segments that grabbed me, I was all in. I was amped up after the Cena, Ryder, Owens spot. I mean, I was completely amped up after that. But I just think there was a lot of dead spots tonight. Some sloppy match work here and there. It wasn't really, when you go, and again, not to compare, but when you go from what we had at NXT and then you follow it up with a Raw like this, you would think the talent would want to leave everything out there. And it just, I don't know what it was. It fell flat, and I'm not putting it on talent at all, like 100%. You can't obviously do that, but it just, when you have to follow that act and you're the main roster, you'd really think that they'd really want to follow that act.
No, they didn't.
Right.
So
No. All right, guys. So that's it for this week's Raw Reaction. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure you are subscribing to Wrestling Rumors Net on YouTube. Make sure you like our videos, share our videos. Follow Sam on Twitter at LadyNexus13. Follow me on Twitter at AdamDaley13. And guys, we will see you next week.